don't feel safe at school. Sometimes I say to my dad, I don't want to go to school anymore. I was just crying, and I didn't do nothing because I respect the school rules.
Who told Jamal to go on camera and say this? Who arranged the media tour? Who encouraged him to take legal action? He was originally going to sue the school for not looking after him, and then decided to sue me instead. Who told him to put this in his statement to the High Court? You see, Jamal doesn't like to break the school rules. Here's the problem. This is his behaviour record. Almost 100 codes for bad behaviour. Truancy, verbal abuse to teachers, physical violence towards pupils, and lying. Yeah, there's plenty for lying. You see, I haven't got all of Jamal's school records. Large sections of documents I was given were blacked out. We tried to get access, but we weren't allowed. And the lawyers wrote to the court to explain they had misplaced documentation. And finally, as you can hear, the lawyers decided what they were going to allow me to see. Whilst I was preparing my defence, Jamal's lawyers decided what I could see. And this global news story wasn't an accident. It was all carefully planned. You see, the day before the video went viral, a GoFundMe page was set up for Jamal. And the video went viral the day after a criminal record check come back on Jamal. Why would his lawyers do a criminal record check? Well, they had to make sure this was financially beneficial exercise, wasn't going to be derailed by an unhelpful past. 15-year-old Jamal, his record was clean, by the way. Mohammed Akanji, the jihadist lawyer of choice, was immediately on a global media blitz.
Listen, about Akanji himself, I'm after him for my own reason.
Right, okay. Nothing sinister though, is it?
Oh, fuck, no, journalistic.
Oh, journalistic, that's good.
Oh, no, fucking totally journalistic. I want to get all the background on him. You reckon he was a member of that?
Yeah.
Al-Midra Haroun are a prescribed terrorist organisation. Almost 60% of terrorists in British prisons are ex-members of this organisation. They kill, they murder, they slaughter. That is the organisation that Mohammed Akanji and his brother were allegedly, according to this top mainstream Muslim British journalist, they were members of it. How does a Syrian lad find himself working with the jihadist lawyer of choice before this video even went out? Before anyone has seen this viral video? Within 2 weeks, the lawyers had been made the beneficiaries of the GoFundMe page of £160,000. A plan to sue the school, that was put on hold, and the plan to sue moi for libel was launched. What riches had these lawyers promised Jamal and his family? School records were edited. Migration Yorkshire clamoured to make this playground fight about race and hate. They contacted the Home Office as soon as they heard about this playground fight. Yeah, the Home Office, a playground scuffle. Why are they contacting the Home Office instantly? Someone went further. You see, we had this school incident report analysed by a graphologist, someone who analyses handwriting. It appears to show that a second person with very different handwriting doctored the report to allege that Bailey had threatened to stab Jamal. Even though all the witness reports mentioned there was only one teacher there, so only one teacher could have done an incident report. So, with the careful planning of the jihadist's favourite lawyer and the enthusiastic support of some useful idiots, it was possible for the lies to go round the world twice before the truth had had a chance to put its pants on. I now need to mention other repercussions of what happened in Almonbury. I was being sued for reporting the things that were said to me about Jamal. I had to defend myself. The judge had already ruled that I was not allowed to argue it was in the public's interest for people to hear a different perspective of Jamal. I had to prove that the information reported to me was true. That's not the kind of burden placed on Piers Morgan or Jeremy Vine. Piers can describe Bailey as vermin without being held to account. And who is behind propagating this deception and the lawsuit against me? You see, this is where we get to meet the most sinister part of the unholy alliance. All sorts of people are helping out, but leading the posse from the front is the jihadist lawyer of choice. He represented Shamina Begum, you know, the jihadi terrorist that's out in Syria. He represented, I think, Michael Adebolajo, Lee Rigby's killer. I think he's even had to change his name because he's got such a terrible track record. So this is the lawyer who's suing me and who the media celebrated that he had served Me papers, even though I wasn't in the country. If you've pillaged, if you've plundered, if you've raped and you've beheaded, and you say you've done it in the name of Islam, well, these are the lawyers for you. The lawyers who stepped forward for ISIS-Bide Shamina Begum, who've been fighting to get her back into our country, who defended Michael Adebolajo, who beheaded Lee Rigby. This is Mohammed Akunji. And his colleague, Farouk Bajwa, who's been banned from claiming legal aid. Yeah, banned from claiming legal aid for putting in fraudulent expense claims. Let me rewind a bit. Let's go back a few weeks. There's an important piece of background information to this.
Don't know the full ins and outs of it, but basically to inform that a group call themselves Antifa UK.
Yeah.
Heard of them?
Yeah.
To be honest, I kind of haven't. And Antifa Dundee, it basically says they're planning to help possibly kill Tommy Robinson because they know where he lives and want to silence him. They've got their hands on, it says they've got hands on some AK-47s, make petrol bombs and stuff. And allegedly say they're going to put these petrol bombs through your door when he sleeps. They say they're also planning to attack a few MPs.
Now, at the heightened tensions with multiple Osman warnings, they now take back the radar phone, the one option we have to go direct to the police, and they are removing it at this current moment.
Where are you from? I'm from the counter-terrorism policing unit that Carla works with. So Carla and I work very closely together.
So look, what did you just say? Basically, the radar phone or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The phone, the emergency phone.
We'll be taking that back.
You'll be taking that back.
Yeah, those phones are designed for a. No, I'm not
Are you
taking
for
them.
real? Like, so when there's a heightened threat and people have come to the house and the address has been put out where my kids are, you're then going to take the panic phone back.
It's Christmas 2018. The police come to my family's home to tell me that people in Antifa, far left violent extremist organisation, are planning to kill me and my family. See, who were the first to comment on this video? Well, Mohammed Akunji of Farouk Bajwa & Co. Of course, the jihadis' lawyers of choice, but also Mike Stutchbury, an independent journalist, an Antifa activist. So the jihadist lawyers knew Antifa were planning to kill me, then actually commented on the video of the Osman warning. You see, what happened next is interesting, although not interesting to the Solicitors Regulation Authority or the Law Society, the people who should be interested in the integrity of our lawyers.
It will be live streamed. I'm not in charge of the filming or anything like that. That's down to the guys over here. And yeah, literally nobody wanted to do this, so we thought, what mug can we find who would agree to this?
So two lawyers who know Antifa are planning to kill me seek out an Antifa extremist, hire him for one day, just one day, and send him to live stream the serving of papers to my home, my family's home. Papers which had already been served, by the way, with a gang. When my wife and children were there, when they knew I was abroad, lawyers commissioned the Antifa extremist to broadcast my home address in order, as they put it, to cause a spectacle.
The law firm or the lawyer who's been, sort of taking the lead on the Tommy case wanted to make sure, doubly sure, that A, Tommy got the letter. Actually went out two different ways, and he wanted to make a bit of a spectacle out of it. And this is all very amusing.
A group supported by Mike Stutchbury came to the home that my wife and children were in on a Sunday afternoon when I wasn't even in the country. So let's have a look at Mike Stutchbury, who calls himself a journalist, who promoted this event, who shared it and encouraged it, who found it amusing that my wife was so scared she had to ring the police. My wife has been sat down and told in her home that Antifa are planning to kill her. They're planning to kill our family and harm our family. She's been told that she may get acid in her face. Well, how do you think she felt on a Sunday afternoon whilst my children are playing outside on their bikes? To be told that Antifa were on their way to our home. Let's have a look at Mike Stutchbury, the man that sent them. Here he is self-admitting that he is part of Antifa. Here he is promoting violence against his opposition. Punch them, punch them, punch them. Here he is hoping that buses full of Antifa get shipped in to smash people's skulls in. Here he is calling for white genocide. Mike Stutchbury is an extremist. He's a far left extremist who currently is playing a victim. He encouraged people to come, and he sent people and was part of an organisation that communicated together to send people to the home where my wife and children were when I wasn't there. He even crowdfunded to support them in their action.
He was looking at various people, and eventually he sort of came on to Dick Coughlin. Dick Coughlin, I can't say it properly. Who is a YouTuber who has made videos about Tommy for almost 10 years, I think. Who's a real critic. I don't know if you've checked him out, but he's a funny guy.
Check it out.
Yeah, he's sort of, got red hair. He calls, he's an ex-crackhead, basically.
And who is this Antifa extremist hired to come to my kids' home? Keep watching.
Okay, folks, we're here in Salso. I'm about to, me and Murphy are about to top off. I went up to where and they said, right, we'll take that from him, we'll make sure he gets it.
And later that night, the Antifa extremists hired by their lawyers had a message for me and my children.
And on that note, on that happy note, oh, by the way, Tommy, I am going to mince your kids, mate.
Let's have a look at the man that they sent. The man that you can see the Muslim lawyer handing privileged documentation, giving this man my children's home address.
The lawyer in this case was a guy called Mohammed Sanimi Akunjra, who works for a solicitors in London called, I shit you not, Farouk Bajwa and Co. Solicitors of London. I get asked by this guy that they've decided that Tommy Robinson is going to be served legal papers so he can be sued by this family. And they asked me, do I want to be the one to go along to serve the legal documents?
Let's have a look at who Dick Coughlin is. Let's have a look at some of the things he said. Here he is promoting hatred against black people. Serious, this is a crime. The comments he makes are a crime. Here he is promoting hatred against Pakistanis. Here he is singing a song promoting anti-Semitism. Singing a song about lampshades being made out of Jewish people's skin from the Holocaust.
Third right, you're a good killer kite. We're white, far right, and we're gonna have a fight. You in the outskirts, you can go in the gas chamber, then we'll throw you in the pit. We're just following orders, man. We're trying to get paid. You might get out of here, but you'll be a lampshade.
A self-confessed, racist, anti-Semitic crackhead was sent to my children's property. He talked about raping my wife in her skull socket. He talked about my children being fed through a meat grinder. He talked about burning my house down whilst masturbating with my family in it.
Now, other than to terrorise my wife and children, why would any sane person do this? It worked, okay? Tipped off by a friend who saw the gang on live stream approaching, my ex-wife hit the panic button and barricaded herself and our children in a bedroom. The police thankfully responded in time. And these are exactly the same tactics being used against the unbelievably courageous children in Almonbury. Threats of violence and rape against children who are willing to stand with me in defence of the truth at the High Court of London. The video release, media, GoFundMe, Antifa, it all happened at the same time. It was coordinated, and it was about hate and making money. And how that far left activist, who appears to be an anti-Semitic, Jew-hating, black-hating racist, came to my home with his gang and threatened to kill my children. These lawyers, the mainstream media, they don't care about refugees. They don't care about Jamal. They don't care about the truth.
Say that bloke who made the video saying he's going to kill the kids.
Yeah.
Can you, if you didn't do it, I know 100%, give a statement. I know, I was there.
Okay.
Give a statement about that. She complained about it. She contacted, we'll remember, it would have been the liaison officer at the time, to ask if he was arrested. I found out his address and I gave you all the information for him. So even now, say now, looking at that, can he be arrested now then?
I don't know what happened with the previous report, because when we search on our system that we currently use,
It probably got buried,
I can't see any crime report that was linked to it.
You see, The next day, knowing I'd been provoked with threats against my ex-wife and my children, no doubt thinking they would catch me conspiring to commit violence and lock me up on a conspiracy charge. Here, outside my ex-wife's house, men in a car that has never been registered, check the registration plate, so presumably from the security services, with listening devices recording what's being said in my home. The involvement of the security services may explain why Dick Coughlan, the man who publicly threatened to murder my children, has never even been spoken to or arrested, despite my wife's complaints.
What are you doing? Show me who's in the back of your car.
There's no one in the back of the car.
So what are you doing then?
We're not here, anything to do with you.
What are you doing then?
Well, what do you think we're doing?
I think you're something doing me.
No.
Who's yours work for? So what are you doing? And there is someone in the back. I know there's someone in the back. So what are you doing here? I don't know who you are. That's what I want you to tell me. Go on, tell me what you're doing. Can you tell me what you're doing then? Because essentially I've got threats against me. I know you. Yeah? So what are you doing here? If I turn it off, you can tell me what you're doing.
We go in.
Who's in the back of your car?
No one's in the back.
Who's in the back of your car? You're not going nowhere. You're not going nowhere. I'm not moving, bro. Let me see who's in the back of your car. Tell me what you're doing in my house. I want to know what you're doing, bro. That's all I want to know is what you're doing. I've got police officers sat with a recording, in a recording van. In the back of this van is a recording station. I'm not standing, you're not going, bro. No, because what you're doing, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. They're sat in the back of their van. This is recording devices. The whole of this back thing, because he just opened it up when I got him out, the whole of this back thing is recording where they're pointing there, because what this is has been a setup. These police officers are setting me up. They're setting me up. It's a setup. They're setting me up by sending people to my house because they think I'm going to react and do something, and they're recording it with listening devices.
We checked the vehicle registration plate outside the house on the government website, and there's no such vehicle.
Let's not forget the politicians, our fearless leaders. It was only when I went alone to the home of self-declared journalist Mike Stutchbury to ask him why he had done what he had, and why he thought it was funny to intimidate my children. Some of you may have seen that people have been outside my home, intimidating my family. The difference is, when they come to my home, 5 men come to my home. I'm on my own. I've had to move my children, who are scared and upset, and people encouraged people to participate in coming to my address. One of those such people who... It was only then that the fearless then Deputy Leader of the Labour Party, Tom Watson, steps forwards, ignoring reality completely.
Every major social media platform other than YouTube has taken down Stephen Yaxley Lennon's profile because of his hateful conduct. Late on Monday night, Yaxley Lennon turned up at a journalist's home, banging on the doors and windows, demanding to be let in. And after being escorted away by the police, he returned at 5 a.m. and continued his intimidation. The incident was live streamed. He later warned journalists in a YouTube video to expect a knock at the door. Does the Secretary of State think that it's right that YouTube and the parent company Alphabet continues to give this man a platform?
It'd be funny, you know, if it wasn't so insidious. The hardly honourable Mr. Watson totally misrepresented what had happened, and from behind his shield of parliamentary privilege, bravely declared that I'd been terrorising a journalist. Journalist? Stutchbury's an Antifa activist who incites violence and wants to kill white people. Terrorising? Was I terrorising? Mr. Watson bravely demanded that I be removed from YouTube. YouTube had only recently confirmed that none, not one, of my videos had broken any of their stringent guidelines, and my videos hadn't broken any laws. It was clear I hadn't harassed anyone, certainly not Mike Stutchbury, if indeed he is a journalist, but none of that mattered. My wife and children left their family home that night. They never went back. In fact, having their lives endangered by the jihadist lawyers. See, my wife started legal action against Mohammed Akunji and Farouk Bajwa's firm. But Mo & Co, Mohammed Akunji and Farouk Bajwa, See, they weren't so keen on facing the law as they were on abusing the law to persecute others for financial and ideological reasons. On the 31st of March 2019, they promptly collapsed their law firm. They'll never be involved in the case. That's what they said. And Dr. Farooq Bajwa, well, he's no longer going to be a lawyer. He'll be living in Pakistan. That's it. That's what they said. That's how easy it was for Mo & Co to escape justice. Interestingly, they're still signing documents on the case on the 6th of June, months after saying they're not involved. Several other law firms have reported them to the Law Society, the body that is supposed to make sure lawyers behave ethically. Nothing's been done. I wonder why. In fact, all the lawyers working at Farooq Bajwa & Co just moved across to a new law firm called Burlington's. And guess what? Yeah, Burlington's took on Jamal's case against me. Farooq Bajwa now works for Burlington's. Farooq Bajwa's son now works for Burlington's. Farooq Bajwa is Burlington's GDPR expert. Pretty ironic, no? Farooq Bajwa & Co leaked my children's address to an Antifa activist to put it online for everyone. And if we've been stupid enough to expect more ethical behaviour from Burlington's than from Farooq Bajwa and Mohammed Akunji, well, we'd have been disappointed. How come Farooq Bajwa signed a form 3 months after he left then to do this case?
It's absolutely. It was. If that was the case, it was before I gave the undertaking, and he wasn't involved in this case at all.
He signed a form dated June. In June, he signed a form, and the date on that form that he signed is June. He left this case in March, apparently. How come?
Well, if you send it through to me, I'll have a look and I'll give you an explanation as to why. I'm not quite sure what form you're talking about.
Although you'll see it on my documentary. Okay, so when you send me what you decide is relevant, yeah, how am I going to know what you've cut out?
Well, I suppose you wouldn't.
Then 2 days ago, Mohammed Akunji doxed my mother and father's house. Last night, that house at 1 o'clock in the morning was smashed to pieces with bricks through the windows. Yeah, this is all going on in the background. I've been trying to get my stuff ready, but just so that you're aware of what's going on as to why I don't trust a word you say. When you have Farooq Bajwa's son working for your company, and Farooq Bajwa is the man that sent people to threaten to kill my children, I'm wondering why in the last 48 hours or last 72 hours, since I disclosed information to you, why my family and loved ones have become under persecuted harm, of which is all detailed with police records and video footage of everything that's been going on. So, and you've covered up things which, and Luke, Francesca told me, I have a recording of her telling me that Burlington's did not redact anything. Yet in court you had to admit you did. I've got the recording of her telling me it. Everything was redacted prior to coming to you. And then in court you sit and admit that you have been redacting things. So forgive me, it's just lie after lie. This is Burlington's lawyers losing documents that they're supposed to send to me and deleting things that they don't want me to see. Misplaced. How do you misplace documents that were electronically filed on their case management system at Farooq Bajwa & Co, then passed over to Burlington's? So now he knows that it's going to land on his lap, the whole lie that they've told, and this is the actions they use. Can't play the man, so they play the kids and the family. You don't need to be scared, Sonia, because they're doing this.
Yeah, they just called me and said goodbye.
Yeah, I know, babe. But they're purposely just doing that.
How long got my number?
But when they're doing this, they're just doing this to try and cause me shit and make you worry. So I know it's easier said, but you don't need to worry, yeah? They're doing this so that I don't beat them in court. That's why they're doing this, yeah?
And I think they do know where we live.
No, mate.
Danny Barker rang me saying if anyone turns up to the house, just ring him and he'll come in a minute.
Yeah, he will, mate. Yeah, piss me off. Oh, mate.
Alright, cool.
The mad thing is, the whole time this goes on, the media and all of them act like we're the bad guys. That we've been, like I'm the one persecuting people or targeting them. And they're such cowards. They're such cowards, man.
I just got a phone call and they said goodbye. I'm so scared. I've told the police, but I'm so scared.
Hello?
Jenna, who's just rung Spencer?
We don't know at the minute.
What are the police saying?
I'm just making a statement.
Okay, but just quickly, are they getting that account that's put a picture of you online? Who showed you that picture, Jenna?
It's on Twitter.
Yeah, who
I saw it
found
myself.
You saw it yourself, okay.
Yeah.
Are the police sorting out to get rid of it?
Yeah, they've taken the address of the Twitter person that's put it out.
If you can say, I've given them 50 addresses of people who have done exactly this over the years, including the redhead man who... What about the redhead bloke who threatened to kill the kids? What have they said about that?
Well, nothing really.
No? It's a crime. Do you know what I mean? If I make a video threatening to kill some kids, I'll be arrested. So the point, what you need to ask them specifically and say to them, you made a complaint, someone threatened to murder your children, you had to leave your home, yeah? Those threats have now followed you to where you're now living, yeah? And they're coming from the same people, the same organisations, the same people they done fuck all about last time. They didn't nick them, they didn't speak to them, the solicitor's still acting with impunity, doing it to my mum and dad yesterday. See, you need to specifically ask them, Jen, I want to answer out of them, when you made a complaint against Richard Coughlin, Dick Coughlin last year, why have they not done anything? And get you a follow-up and an answer as to why they haven't done anything, if you can.
Right.
And are the kids all right? Am I right that you managed to track the number?
Yes.
So you know who made those phone calls to her and
We know where the number has came from,
Yep.
and who that phone was registered to. So that's what, obviously, we cannot prove. Well, I at that time, I wasn't able to prove who. I only could say where the number came from.
as in whose phone it is?
Who the phone is registered to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously for me, this was threatening phone calls a week before a High Court trial, trying to pervert the course of justice. How come no one's been arrested?
I can't see anything on the crime report.
If I send you evidence, which I'm going to anyway, because it's all going to the judge, if I send you evidence of Mohammed Akunji doxing my mum and dad's address, if I send you evidence of criminal damage and attacks in the middle of the night at an old pensioner's home, and I show you evidence of pictures of my wife being put on, ex-wife being put online, and my son, they rung my 11-year-old son's phone. The police are all involved. They've been threatening my 11-year-old son. Yeah, this is what's gone on. If I send you evidence of that, do you think you'll support an anonymity order to protect the children in this case?
Stephen, I can't, answer that because I don't have instructions to answer that. I don't have conduct of the matter.
Unfortunately, in terms of integrity, Burlingtons don't appear to be any better than Farouk Bajwa and Mohammed Akunji.